Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
And I'm Greg Lloyd. Thanks for joining us for WGXA News at 5:30.
Well, some showers and storms brought us some heat relief in the way that I don't really prefer, but Ryan's done it, you know.
Yeah, I know.
He does what he wants.
What can you do with
It's
this
not
stuff?
about you, so you got to get over that.
Yes. We're going to have group therapy after this is over.
We're starting off strong in this 5:30 hour.
It's because I got
on here?
strong storms. I got to match the weather outside. Looking and making right now. Storm moving just south of the city. It's been raining, it's been windy, but overall we continue to track these storms. They're strong to severe. There's that one severe storm coming out of Bibb County and Jones County, dropping down into Twiggs and Wilkinson County. Another severe storm, southern portions of Houston County. That'll be sliding over towards Pulaski County and Bleckley County. And then off towards the north, another strong storm in that part of Wilkinson County. And then one more severe storm down towards Treutlen County, as well as Dodge and Montgomery County. We'll continue to watch these. They'll wind down the next couple of hours. We'll talk about that and rapidly intensifying Hurricane Lee. It's now a Category 4 storm. I'll show you that in Maine weather.
All right, Mr. Stinnett, we love you and thank you for that. Join us with the WGXA weather app to keep track of the weather anytime. Scan the QR code on the screen and it goes straight to your smart device. Ryan Stinnett's back shortly with your full forecast. Well, Governor Brian Kemp announced today hundreds of jobs will soon land in Warner Robins at Robins International Industrial Park.
Carlos Stevens has been in Warner Robins today to learn what's coming and joins us now. Carlos?
The governor's office announced today that a new manufacturing plant will be coming right here to the international city in portions of Peach County, something Warner Robins Mayor LaRonda Patrick calls historic for the international city.
Because we've not had an investment of $120 million for one project in our city.
Pratt Industries, Inc. is a Georgia-based recycled paper and packaging company. Its newest location will be built at Robins International Industrial Park, creating hundreds of jobs. The mayor says the project has been in the works for months.
So the whole mission for the Robins International Industrial Park are to bring in industry partners here to the city of Warner Robins. We don't have any industrial space outside of that space.
Governor Brian Kemp shared his gratitude for the companies remaining Georgia-grown, saying in part, "We're proud of the great Georgia-based companies like Pratt Industries and grateful for their continued growth here in the #1 state of business." Mayor Patrick says she's excited her city is a part of that growth.
We are thrilled to finally have a state project come to Warner Robins, come to Middle Georgia.
The plant will be in the portion of the city that's in Peach County. The Peach County Development Authority and Warner Robins Community and Economic Development Director played huge roles in this new development, creating the opportunity for a boost in the local economy and a bump in wallets of future employees.
Price point's going to be somewhere around the $50,000 range starting out, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but that's a really great price point for the city of Warner Robins, we believe.
The new factory will be the 13th site in Georgia. Construction for the 496,000 square foot facility is expected to begin in late 2024.
At an extended stay hotel in Macon say they're being wrongfully sent to the streets.
Our Gloria Ruth Finney spoke with those who say they want their story told as a warning for others.
I still cannot wrap my head around the fact that there is such a gap in miscommunication between the courts and the local authorities.
Kimberlyn Beddington has been living with her family at the Bowman Road Wood Spring Suites, an extended stay in Macon, for the past 60 days. She says her bank account shows she paid the weekly rate in advance, but the hotel has no record of it. Now she says management called the Bibb County Sheriff's Office to make them leave. But a 2022 Georgia Court of Appeals case ruled people living in extended stays have tenant rights.
Therefore, the hotel should have to follow the proper eviction procedures. Just as with anyone else, you're given at least 30 days to get out, or they have to go and file through the court system or through the court for the summons of dispossessory and go through the whole court proceedings the right way to have you evicted.
They're supposed to be protected from on-the-spot evictions. So if the state sees Beddington and others in her living situation as residents, not guests, Why are families being kicked to the curb? She says the sheriff's office told her this.
You don't have a contract that you sign, there's not a lease agreement that you sign, therefore you're week to week and you cannot be considered as a tenant. And if we cannot be considered as a tenant, then she has all right to remove us from the property and refuse service to us, apparently.
Brandy Taylor and Tashim Green are in a similar situation at the same hotel.
We're really getting milked.
They say management lists them with 3 separate accounts, waived charges, added back with late fees, told to leave if they don't pay up.
Everything just seems a little botched. It seems like maybe there's someone cooking the books and it's just so shady and it's just not being done properly.
So I don't want anybody else to go through this because it doesn't feel good. It don't feel good. And people don't understand what it does to people and their families.
I wasn't able to share management's side of the story. They asked me to leave the property too.
It needs to change. It needs to stop. Not just this location, every location that's in Macon that want to be extended and overcharge people to be able, how are you supposed to get out the situation if we're too busy paying your bills?
Now, WGXA has contacted the Sheriff's Office and has been speaking with the NAACP to look further into the legality of extended stay evictions. Over in Warner Robins, the Chick-fil-A on Highway 96 is closing its doors for renovation starting next Thursday, September 14th at 3. In a post to Facebook, the restaurant says it plans to reopen sometime in mid-December. The new renovations include the removal of the children's playground area, but the restaurant will continue to host family events like kids' nights and bingo days.
To local crime now, and tonight the Georgia Bureau of Investigation asked the public's help in finding a killer. Someone shot and killed Richard Collins Jr. on Labor Day during an argument near Ace's Lounge. That shooting on East Jackson Street left 3 others injured. Anyone with information is asked to contact the GBI. Meanwhile, the GBI investigating the death of a 16-year-old girl in Dublin. So far, no one has been arrested, but according to the GBI investigation, 16-year-old Shimurna Cooney went to a home on Woodlawn Street around 7:30 in the morning and was shot by someone inside the home. She was taken to a local hospital where she later died. The shooter tells officials that he thought that she was a home invader and fired shots to protect himself before he realized the victim was someone he knew. That shooting remains under investigation tonight.
And a second man is behind bars in connection to the June death of a man in Macon. 18-year-old Darrell Lester Wilson III was arrested for the murder of 21-year-old Eric Thomas Jr. Thomas was found dead in his vehicle from a gunshot wound. A 17-year-old suspect was also arrested in the case 2 months ago. They both face murder charges. And a new report from the Georgia Department of Public Safety shows that 21 people died in traffic crashes over the Labor Day weekend. 2 of those were right here in Middle Georgia, one in Milledgeville and the other in Dublin. State troopers investigated more than 300 crashes and almost 200 injuries. 16,000 traffic stops were made and more than 9,000 citations were issued. We've got our first look at how Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and her team will try the case against former President Trump and 18 others for allegedly interfering with the 2020 election. Yesterday's court hearing was the first time that cameras were allowed for a case against Trump. A judge hearing from lawyers for former Trump attorneys Kenneth Chesborough and Sidney Powell requesting that their cases be separate from the others. But he quickly decided that the 2 will be tried together. There was no decision on Trump's request to be tried apart from anyone who files for speedy trial demand. The judge also doubted the case presented by Willis would be ready to go forward in October with 19 co-defendants. Prosecutors did estimate the trial would take 4 months. The Fulton County DA wants certain protections in place for the jury that will hear the case against former President Donald Trump and the 18 others. Fani Willis wants to make sure their information does not become public. That includes video, pictures, or drawings, as well as their names, physical descriptions, telephone numbers, addresses, employers, or other memberships. Willis says the grand jury members who voted on the original indictment were harassed after their information was publicized, but legal experts say it is standard for the names of grand jurors to be released. While news cameras are allowed in the courtroom for most trial proceedings in Georgia, crews are regularly instructed not to show images of the jury.
Well, as the 2024 presidential campaign heats up, we're seeing in some ways the rules of being a candidate have shifted. Old so-called political taboos, they're no longer. And questions about the two-party system are mounting, but are we ready for a third-party candidate? Christine Fazal takes a closer look.
It's good to be almost home.
They took the gloves off, and we can say whatever we want.
It is a political puzzle. How to change the accepted rules of a game Americans have played by for so long.
I guess we're up 50 points in Iowa, 5-0.
And yet a recent poll found 56% of voters don't want Trump to run for re-election. 59% don't want Biden to. One reason why groups like No Labels are floating the idea of a third-party candidate.
I think the people basically have spoken loud and clear that they're not happy with the two choices and only two choices.
In 1992, Ross Perot set what many see as a high bar for a third-party candidate, capturing 19% of the vote.
Ross Perot combined a likable personality that reminded people of someone in their own family, with a record of very great business success, and also a bunch of positions that were hard to characterize. They weren't especially left or right.
A brand new USA Today Suffolk University poll found registered voters unlikely to go to the polls back Trump over Biden by nearly 20 percentage points, while 22% are undecided. When asked what it would take to get them to vote in November, 27% said a better choice or a candidate that I like.
It very well may be the first time in our history where the American public is really hungry for something like this.
Others are skeptical, given the unpopularity of the top two candidates and the fear of, quote, throwing away their vote.
They may want their vote to count, either not necessarily to elect a particular candidate, but to make sure one of the candidates does not get elected.
There are some additional hurdles for third-party candidates, including our election laws, which make it difficult to get on the ballot in most or all 50 states, not to mention the massive fundraising machines and volunteer networks that come with the Democratic and Republican parties. In Washington, I'm Christine Frazao.
The push to impeach President Biden is growing among conservative House lawmakers, but it's hitting the wall in the Senate. House Freedom Caucus member Gates is pressuring the issue, and he says House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's leadership job is at stake if an inquiry does not move forward. Yet some of Gates' fellow HFC members are not enthusiastic about impeachment at this moment.
We have 3 committees that are working very hard on uncovering evidence of Hunter Biden's wrongdoing. They are looking to see if there is a connection with Joe Biden. If they reach that point where they can find evidence of a connection, fine. I think the Republicans will move forward with an impeachment inquiry. Right now, I'm not convinced that that evidence exists.
Republican senators are similarly skeptical. Some believe there's simply no evidence Biden acted illegally with regard to his son's financial dealings, while others don't want to go through another impeachment.
And new presidential polling is concerning for President Biden and Democrats. In a CNN SSRS opinion poll of registered voters conducted the final week of August, 39% approve of Biden's job performance to 61 who disapprove. 2/3 say they are not proud he's the president. In a hypothetical head-to-head matchup with the Republican candidates, Biden loses to Trump, Haley, Pence, Scott, and Christie. He ties DeSantis and beats Ramaswamy. Each hypothetical, however, is close.
Getting an active radar across middle Georgia this afternoon. Still tracking a few strong to locally severe storms, maybe getting some winds up to 60 miles per hour, some small hail stretching from really Macon down towards Dry Branch. That warning's going to continue to slide down into Twiggs and Wilkinson County. You got a stronger storm in portions of Houston County, now moving over into Bleckley County as well as Pulaski County. A lot of lightning with that storm, and again, it's wind maybe up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail. And then you get over into, say, Montgomery County, you get in Lawrence County as well, and Treutlen County. Doesn't look as intense. Lots of lightning and heavy rainfall, but these storms will continue to push off towards the south and east. They're associated with a front across middle Georgia, and that front actually will stall across portions of middle Georgia the next couple of days. Storms will be winding down this evening. As soon as that sun sets, we'll really see these things gradually wind down. But that front, it does stall across middle Georgia. And of course, we got to talk about Hurricane Lee. It is rapidly intensifying. Last night, it was just a tropical storm, now a monster. It's a Category 4 hurricane. And when you're looking at a textbook image of a hurricane, this is what you see. This is that buzzsaw. This shows you that strong eye. Very, very intense thunderstorms within this. And thankfully, it's over water, not anywhere near land, but winds are 130 miles per hour, moving off towards the northwest west at 15 miles per hour. You see that? It's going to be a Category 5 at some point over the next 24 hours, our only one this year, and then it heads up south and east of the Bahamas. We'll keep an eye on it. Most of the models long range take it north between Bermuda and the east coast of the U.S. Still a lot to watch with this, but this would be next week as it gets closer to maybe the U.S. Here's that frontal boundary in place. It's going to kind of wash out the next couple of days and really not move, but it will allow for higher rain chances the next couple of days. So we will keep that in mind. And then as we look at Friday and Saturday and Sunday, scattered afternoon showers and storms here or there. Most locations will remain dry. We'll do that again next week. Next week, it looks like we'll get a nice front that'll come through and finally start cooling us off some late next week. Low 90s the next few days. Scattered storms will remain a possibility. Only a few pop-up storms expected tomorrow. So those high school football games will be in great shape. Low 90s next week, each and every day, with Monday and Tuesday being mainly dry. Then towards the end of next week, the next weekend, highs look to fall back into the 80s area-wide. And your Harrison's Body Shop fishing game forecast has several peaks in the good range tomorrow. Most prominent, 9:20 a.m. and then again at 10:40 p.m.
Well, Macon is tapping into its music legacy this weekend, celebrating big what would have been Otis Redding's 82nd birthday.
It's the second annual King of Soul Music Festival, and the celebration isn't just about the Macon music legend. The Otis Redding Foundation is honoring a living legend, Jermaine Dupri. The award-winning producer will be awarded the Otis and Zelma Redding Award of Respect. The award is a way to recognize Dupri's work to inspire and empower a new generation of young artists. It turns out Dupri's family and the Reddings have a long history together. Dupri would sharpen his musical talents at the Reddings' Big O Ranch.
So anytime we get the opportunity to gather people together under a weekend of activities and celebrate in his honor, and also to celebrate Zelma Redding, the mayor has declared the weekend Otis and Zelma Redding weekend, and the governor has declared September 9th as Otis Redding Day in the state of Georgia.
That is wonderful, and the festival kicks off tonight with the Evening of Respect concert at the Macon City Auditorium. It'll be a night of performances paying tribute to African-American music pioneers. Then tomorrow, the celebrations continue with the Big O Homecoming Show and dance at the Capitol Theater.
Macon's rich music history is providing an opportunity for the place where soul lives to be home to another fun event. The Macon Arts Alliance plans to host a mural festival. Starting tomorrow and going through the weekend, you'll see artists from across America converge in Macon to paint 5 murals. And while you enjoy the art, you can check out Macon's First Street Art and Wine Festival. We have where they'll be painting the new artwork on our article posted on WGXA.tv.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen. I'm here again today at the Humane Society of Houston County, and today we have a very beautiful dog we're going to show you, and it's Sunny. Not S-O-N-N-Y, but like the sun, S-U-N-N-Y. So I'm joined again today with Dee, and Dee, tell us about Sunny.
Sunny came in with her little buddy, Rainey. Rainey's been adopted. When they were brought into animal control, they were being held by their throats as they walked through the door. The officer about came unstuck, but the goal was just to get these dogs away from that human being that had no regard whatsoever to hold them even in a correct fashion.
Wow.
Now, she does not like other dogs, and she's not particularly fond of men. She is pretty much a woman's dog. She would do best in a household with just a single lady.
Okay, you heard that. So if you are maybe 2 or 3 females or a single female in the home would be your best situation for Sunny. How would they go about adopting Sonny if they'd like to do so, Dee?
You can go on our website and fill out our application, the Humane Society of Houston County. Please allow 7 to 10 days for your your application to be processed.
It is so horrible to see so many dogs across Middle Georgia treated so inhumanely and so terrible.
Yep.
And this is your opportunity to give some of these dogs a really, really good home, and Sonny deserves that. So let's go ahead and get online, Humane Society of Houston County. Let's find Sonny and many of these other dogs here a really good home. Thank you so much, Dee.
Thank you very much.
This Metallica fan may end up in the doghouse after sneaking into a concert. According to social media posts from the iconic heavy metal band Storm, an Akita Shepherd mix was spotted at a concert after sneaking into SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. At first, people thought the dog had been abandoned at the concert, but Storm's owners say he snuck out of their home located near the stadium. After being brought to the Animal Hope and Wellness Foundation shelter, Storm was reunited with his family.
He's sitting there enjoying the show. Look at him.
Yeah, he was like, you guys are not going to leave me behind. Like, I will be there.
Well, Metallica, what a great show to go sneak into as well. So
He has good taste.
Yeah, he really does. Well, that's going to do it for WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay weather aware this evening, Middle Georgia.